Can you turn on your camera? Come in and say hello.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
It's going all right. It's getting good. The weather's getting nicer up here. Is it cooler down where you are?
No, it's weird. It's like even when it rains, it's still hot, but it's not.
Yeah.
On days when, okay, we're in the rainy season now, so it's usually cloudy, but every once in a while it gets clear. And if it gets clear in the middle of the day, the heat is just incredible.
Yeah.
You can't imagine the feel of the sun is so intense. It's like I could reach up and touch it at noon. It really is, feels that close. Luckily, that's, it's cloudy most of the time. Yeah. Thank God. So yeah, we're in this rainy season now.
All right. Let's start off, because I got to remind you. I think you have a free reading to give away. Yeah, there we go.
Yes, it's time to spin the wheel. All right. Kathy Haid was the winner last time. I've got her booked. Find out where's my wheel at on my. That's not it. I'm gonna. Oh, I don't have my camera set up yet. I forgot to do that, so I'm gonna do it right here. Okay, let's see. There's a lot of names. Look at all the names that are on there.
Yeah, I see them. Damn.
The blue ones. I don't want to turn off. I don't want to turn off my
blue screen
virtual background, because then you'll just see my blue screen. Oh, I'm just gonna. All right, round and round she goes. Where it stops, who knows? And the mystery.
Allison
Hackman. Now, I don't have an email for you, and I have to put a time limit on this. I can't just let it draw out indefinitely. Yeah. So until I see Dan again, Allison Hackman, you have until Dan comes back on the show to claim your reward. And then I'm going to give it away to somebody else. And by the way, if you want to get on the wheel, then, well, the way I did it before, I'm going to have to do a live, and I haven't done a live in a long, long time. So I'm going to have to do a live. And when I do my live show, if anybody who comments, I don't know, before I didn't have, oh, and by the way, thank you to the like 800 or 900 new subscribers that I got. I want to thank all of you who are, if you're a new subscriber, thank you very much for joining. Yeah, so I do live shows every once in a while, and I don't have a schedule or anything, just whenever because I have to wake up early to do those, because if I do it when it's convenient for me, everybody's asleep in America, right?
Yeah.
And so I have to get up real early. And the way I was doing it in the past was anybody who commented, I mean, just questions, uplifting comments, or donations. Anybody who donates, certainly you're going to get on the wheel. And by donations, $5 or $10. I like to say $11.11. 11.11.
Yeah, 11.11.
So that's how you get onto the wheel.
Yeah.
So I guess now I'm gonna have to definitely do a live. And yeah, I want to give one away every week. So Allison, what was her name?
Hackman.
Oh. Okay, Allison Hackman, you have until Dan comes back to claim your reward.
All right.
We got that done.
Next is
Organites.
Yep. Hopefully the video works. If the video doesn't work, we could just put the link at the bottom.
Right.
We'll see if that works.
I haven't set up my camera yet. Let me get the camera set up.
Well, the first question I'll do is about the Dune thing, and I'll just talk about what Dune is for anyone while you're setting up what it if no one's seen the movie or the books. Dune is I think originally books, then they made a movie out of it, and it's basically about this universe or galaxy where there's one planet where this special stuff is created, spice, and
Spice.
this substance can only be found on this one planet, and everybody wants it because when they take it, they get like super high, but they also, their mind expands so that each individual race or species, they like evolve almost, even to the point where there's in order to travel across vast distances, there's one group that if they take all this spice, they can actually fold space and time and travel. So it's very, very valuable. And there's a lot of espionage and, you know, intrigue and all that stuff that goes around it. But there's a lot of esoteric stuff in the movie and the books. So I'm wondering, is Dune basically a story about us in this world? Because we had earlier readings where like we're the special substance that other species like to consume to expand. And we also found out that
specifically our DNA, I believe. And one of the easiest ways to get that is through. Okay. And so you think of all the blood cults and the blood rituals, and I mean, even the Christian idea that God needed blood to be assuaged. I mean, that's literally from the Bible, that the blood cleansed sin. I never got that, man. Blood doesn't clean anything. Sorry.
But we don't have the original text too, so you don't know what's been added.
No, so it was rewritten but go ahead.
Yeah.
So humans are the spice, Earth is the planet, and they're all, and I know the story well. I love the original 84 movie. I love that. Yes.
Oh, and so there are royal houses that are in charge of this planet. So the people on the planet aren't in charge of the planet. Other groups have to come in and tell them what to do. And there's a bad group first, right? And then the bad group gets pulled out, and then the good group comes in, and there's betrayal and stuff. But and finally at the end, it's not about one group or two groups controlling. It's about the people on the Earth planet controlling it themselves. So
now I know that this was originally a revelation I had a couple of days ago, and I shared it with you and Dr. Keith Motley, good friend of mine. And listening to you explain it and hearing it like from that, it's so obvious, man. It's so obvious. It's such a perfect metaphor for what we're in right now. And the what were the name of the people who lived on Dune?
I'm stuck on I know the good guys were House Atreides. The bad guys were Harkonnen.
Right.
And
Fremen.
Yeah, the Fremen. Yep.
Right.
And the Harkonnen.
So like, huh?
Yeah, so Atreides was a militant, very, very military, but it was like about honor, and there were, you know what I mean? It was very honorable. The Harkonnen were basically the kings and then the slaves. And the weird thing is, if you remember, is everyone, when you're born, you put a heart plug in. So if you're a problem, they just pull your plug and then you die.
Well, and so then they drink it. They drink
and bathe in it,
like a sippy cup.
Yeah. So
what I was thinking about was the Fremen. How the Fremen, they're the underground. They live underground. There are many more of them than they know about. And these are like the holy people. They're in the spice so much. They eat the spice. Their eyes change color, and they have these telepathic abilities and things like that. So wow, That's like the Fremen waking, and he even says sleepers awaken. That's a line from the film too.
Yeah. And I gotta do the reading, and then I'll tell you what the secret ending was. There was supposed to be a different ending.
Okay. So there's no yes or no. I mean, to me, it's obvious that this is a metaphor. So, how should we approach this?
All right. So
Frank
the ending's
Herbert
very,
talk about. Oh, somebody said when I did a reading on Isaac Asimov, somebody suggested that I look at all these science. So let's do that. Let's start with Frank Herbert.
okay. Yeah.
Like, how did he get the inspiration for the book? That's the question.
Was he getting the inspiration from good, or is this predictive programming from bad?
Right. You see, that's really black and white thinking. It could be both. It's possible that it's both. You understand?
Yeah.
So I don't want
Technically,
to. I want to look Frank Herbert. I'm going to leave it very open. How did he get the inspiration from the book? In other words, did somebody hand him a script and he just filled in the characters and plot and stuff like that? Was it like from a spiritual source, dreams, or some type of epiphany like that? Let's see. That's good.
Yeah.
Good job, Dan. The power couple. I shouldn't have said power couple. That's a little gay. I should have said dynamic duo.
There you go.
That makes me Batman, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's not. Batman was never weird. A full-grown adult man with an orphan boy hanging around at night in tights and stuff.
You're right. That's even worse than the homosexual connotation. Oh, you're bad, man. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, Frank Herbert. How did he get the inspiration for this obvious metaphor of what's going on here? How did he get this information? This is Frank Herbert, King of Cups. Yeah. Wow. I start reading too soon. I always gotta wait. I gotta wait for all the cards to be out before I start reading. I just get these feelings right away.
Yeah. The camera is slower than your the camera that's on you. So you've already got them out and I can't see them.
Okay, so no major arcana, which means this was like more of a natural thing. In other words, so somebody didn't take him aside and say, hey, you're gonna do this, and the Nine of Pentacles, so he's independent. And okay, so Three of Wands in the background. I think it was like through dreams or daydreaming. He thought it was just daydreaming, but it's an inspiration from a spiritual source that he got it from, and from outside of the known physical world. Okay, so it could have been through dreams or just daydreaming. So it was a creativity it was just like downloads of this Six of Swords, just information, ideas, and then information just coming to him. It came from the ether to him. So it was it was neutral. Okay. You asked, was it from, it's kind of like what I said. It wasn't good or bad. It was just information and ideas. And he believes it was all his. I don't think he knew about the connection or planned it or anything. Okay.
All right. So follow-up question. Can you pull to see if the 80s movie was done by the good guys or bad guys, because the books are different than
all
the
right.
movies.
So,
You know what I mean?
right, because the book and the movies, two totally different creatures, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with the '80s movie. Was that now that's one that we could say black or white? Was it done by the White Hats or the
All right.
Cabal?
So, all right, here it is. The two endings. The ending that we got was the main character, Muad'Dib. He's the Jesus figure, right? He's literally goes out in the desert. When he finally does his final awakening, the sleeper awakens. He goes out to the desert and transmutes into like a superhero, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, he defeats the villain in a knife fight, and then you find out like he could just say a word and kill a person. So, and then the rain comes down on the whole planet, and it's this big deal. Like he's he's just a god or something. And an alternate version that was supposed to happen in that first movie that never got made was that the main character gets killed.
Hey, wait, hold on a second. Explain the first movie that never got made, because you and I talked about it pre-show, but a lot of people out there don't know. I didn't know about this until you told me.
So there was an Italian director that was hired to make the movie, and he went crazy with it. He had his son be the main character, and when he did that, it was like method acting. He like had his son like believe he was like a prophet and a chosen one. It was wacky, like it was getting crazy, and he just lost himself in the movie, like in the creation of it. And in the ending of this movie that never got made, the main character he dies. He loses the knife fight. He dies, and no one weeps, no one cries. All the people with the blue eyes, they say like, I am Muad'Dib. I am, like, each one individual. So it doesn't matter that you kill one. Everyone has awoken. Right. So it doesn't matter.
Right.
And that's kind of a better ending where everyone is equal. Everyone has grown. Everyone has woken up versus one superpower guy. The question is, were the movies controlled by a group, and which group was it?
Let's start off with the '84 version, which is my favorite. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I like that one.
I'd say the first time I watched it with my buddies in the theater, all of us walked out like, that was shit. We thought everybody was just, that was ridiculously bad. And then like 10 years later, for some reason, I decided to get it from Blockbuster,
Yeah.
And I watched it again, and I was older at this point, and I loved it. For some reason, I completely fell in love with that movie the second time I watched it, and I've probably watched it over 10 times since then. Love that movie. So
I loved as his development, where you see him being like trained, and then when he meets the Jesuit witch and he says the line of like, fear is the mind killer. I will let the fear take over me and then wash over me. So
make this bigger. Yeah, I love that line, man. There's so much great stuff from that film. Anyways, so this is the original Dune. Was that White Hat really, or trying to counteract the negative predictive programming? Oh wow, an Empress. So this Eight of Swords, this was information that the Cabal did not want out. But I want to say that this was an inspiration. Whoever created that film, the '84 film, they got their inspiration through their third eye,
Mm-hmm.
And this Knight of Swords, military. So it was coming from the heart. It was inspired from spirit, but somehow I feel like the Q team with this Knight of Swords had something to do with it.
Yeah.
The Three of Cups. So they were really happy with the outcome, and it was a strategic thing. I think to some degree, somehow somebody in the writing or in the production of that movie had something to do with the Q team. It was a strategic move, like I said, to counterbalance the cabal and at least get this into the human consciousness. So a lot of people who are awake, they feel like they're losing, and this was something that can inspire people. Like the revelation that I had just a few days ago of the connection between that story and what's happening today. It has given me hope. And so I'm going to say I'm right on that there was, but it was like more, it was a karmic spiritual thing that inspired the creation of the movie, along with some strategic moves by the alliance to wake people up. And I told you about how 10 years after it came out, so right in the early 90s, I became obsessed with that movie. I mean, I watched it like 3 or 4 times in that year. I would go, and it was a 3-hour movie, and I would just by myself, and there was something about that movie. So yeah, I think that's what the cards are saying. It was waking up something inside of me that I didn't even know at the time. So cool. I suggest everybody go and watch it.
Yeah,
it's and music by Queen. That's the other thing. I thought that was brilliant, using Queen to do the soundtrack on that film.
Yeah. Next one. This is a funny one. You laugh when I told you about this one. All right. There we go.
Oh, where am I? Go on. All right. Okay, cool. What's next?
Okay. This is the funny one where, okay, so people that have gotten the jab and then they die, people have been saying that they're getting signals from the graveyard, like Bluetooth signals. So I just want to know what's all that about. Is that something going to happen with that? Like, not even good or bad, just like mad scientist thing where like the dead are giving off Bluetooth signals.
You know what?
I'm
gonna do this new thing, the yes or no.
Okay.
Using the major arcana. So I'm always doing research, and I'm always studying how to become a better tarot card reader. And yes or no questions are always difficult to get in a 7-card spread. So this is something I learned, and I think it's pretty accurate. So let me explain what I'm doing. I've got all the major arcana cards here, and I'm going to draw 2 cards. Okay, and this side will be no, and this side will be yes. And the major arcanas have numbers associated with them, and the higher number wins. Okay, so whatever one is higher is the answer. And so I want to know, is it true that there are, you gotta be very specific. Is it true that there are Bluetooth signals coming from the bodies of people who have left the earth plane due to the jab that are buried in the cemeteries? Okay.
Yeah.
No, yes. Let's see. This ought to be first. Let me go ahead and cut them just to be sure. And the first card that's a pretty low. That's an 8.
Yeah.
All right, that means we have a very good chance of getting a yes here, and no. The answer is no.
No. Okay.
So more than likely, it's there's some other reason. So do you want to? I mean, we explore that more. You want to dig deep? You want to delve deeper?
Let's, we can move on. I just wanted to see if that was true or not. I only saw one article, so.
All right. Well, this saves us a lot of time. We can just do yes or no and then move on.
Okay.
Unless we have a why. Sometimes you can ask why, even whether it's yes or no.
Yeah. All right. I want to ask this because I watched The Matrix the other day, and I was thinking about this. And when you die in The Matrix, you die in the real world, right? So I was thinking, when you go to sleep, sometimes you wake up and for no reason at all, you have like a sore body part, or you even have like sometimes you get like a bruise on you and you don't know what it's from. What happens when you're sleeping to cause that? Is it something natural, like it's nothing esoteric, or is it something where you go off somewhere else?
I'm sorry. What was that you said?
I said, is it something that's nothing, or is it something where when you go to sleep, you go off somewhere else, get beat up or whatever, and then come back and then you have bruises on your body?
What's that word for something that's very mysterious and like unknown, unnatural? What's that
Esoteric.
word?
Esoteric.
Okay.
What is it?
Yeah, and I'm going to build on that a little bit. I can't really remember waking up with stuff like that. I think it's happened. I don't really remember it. However, I have had epic dreams where I felt that I had walked into somebody else's life that was going on somewhere. There's one, I've talked about it before, and I'm not going to go into it again, but I still remember that dream as if I was living somebody else's life. It was like, so I think that's kind of the same thing. Like nothing happened to me. What if I had been punched or gotten hurt or got scratched or by a cat or something and then I woke up and okay, so we're asking what's with that when that happens, right?
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
Sleeping, dreaming.
Yeah.
This is a portal. This can be a portal going to traveling through something. It's really cool that we have this, dream sleeping card, and he's waking up from a dream. But we have no major arcana here. This is more of an earthly thing. So what I think's happening here, Dan, is every once in a while as you're sleeping, and this has happened to me, the sleep paralysis that's supposed to be in effect while you're dreaming, sometimes it turns off. Like there was one time I dreamt that I was in a car with a friend. I was sitting in the backseat of the car and he was driving very recklessly down the road, and I was yelling at him to slow down, and then he lost control and I was flying through the air and I was angry at him, so I kicked him in the head. Well, as I did that, in the middle of the night, I kicked the wall. It was a perfect toe plant, like the heel of my foot hit the wall perfectly. If I'd hit it with my toes, it would have broken my toes. I hit it so hard. It's just so weird. Anyways, that's all this is, Dan. There's nothing supernatural here going on. Maybe that does happen to some very, very rare cases of like alien abduction, but we're talking about 0.01%. This is more natural things that happen. Maybe your partner swings over and punches you in the face while they're sleeping, and you don't really notice it till you wake up. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Next. All right. This is gonna be a fun idea. I want to do the You want to pause for edit or?
Yeah. Turn off camera. Count to 3.
1, 2,
I guess I
Okay.
count faster than you.
3.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Next one. By
Well,
the
here's an
way,
idea.
on a side note, so these in case you missed it, episodes that I'm doing where I take this long video and I take 5 or 10 minute and I cut them out.
Yeah.
The last one I did about the food supply,
Yeah.
500 views.
Yeah. Oh, it's happening. Food shortage, so people want to see, you know.
So
But it's a good. That was a good
I really
reading,
love
so.
our format here.
Yeah. Okay. Let me explain this one. This will be a good interactive one for viewers. All right, so
Okay.
this is going to be about aliens, and it's going to be about first contact. And I want to ask the cards, when we finally get first contact, who is it going to be? Now the cards can tell us, good or bad, but there's so many like alien species or groups out there that it'll tell you good, bad, or indifferent, whatever. But when the cards come up, that people could see the cards in the and put in the comments which group they think it is based on the cards that came up.
That's a great idea. Okay, so we're going to ask the audience to participate. And Dan and I were talking before the show, and there are 4 major off-world races that are involved in the Alliance. And we can always remember 2, and we can't remember the other 2. Been racking my brains. Can't remember where I saw the video or talked about it. If anybody can help us out here, we know that the Arcturians are one, and the Pleiadians are one. And then you believe it's Ashtar Command, but I don't think that's the one I'm thinking of. And then another one. So I'd like the viewers also to comment, who are the other 2? And we know there's like 170 alien races that
Crazy number.
that like are in the esoteric world they say exist.
Yeah.
There's probably thousands, millions more than that, in other worlds. Okay, so to reiterate your question, I'm going to rephrase it the way I understand it, is we're expecting disclosure, first contact with alien races. And like there's been we know that other people, individuals, have, and there's Thor.
Yep.
Thor Valiant, but that wasn't an official disclosure. It wasn't an official first contact. So you tell me what constitutes first contact to you, Dan? What would it look like?
It would be where you could not spin it. Like you couldn't stop it from the media changing what the spin was. Like they would just come down in mass. They would use their advanced technology to just control what the message would be.
Like in the 2009 version of V.
Yeah. Like you couldn't stop it. You couldn't spin it.
So the mothership appears over every major city on Earth. A mothership appears, and then a spokesman comes down and goes on TV and talks to world leaders and things like that. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And we're assuming it would just be one. Well, it'd probably be, but who would be the first mothership, like the big triangle that appeared above me a couple of months ago. Go and look at my video on that if you want to see what I'm talking about. Okay, cool, Dan. Let's take a look. Say. And you and I too can speculate as well.
Yeah. If I could remember them, half of them.
Yeah, well, Pentacles, pentacles. You know, there are stars in pentacles,
Yeah.
you know. Son. Well, here, this is good news. When it does happen, it's really going to be the good guys. It's not
Good
going to
guys.
be it's not going to be bad aliens pretending to be good. Uh-oh.
Let's see. It's coming up slow. It's lagging on the screen.
Okay. Well, I was doing it slow on purpose too. This is my UFO card, by the way.
Which one is that? The
To
High
me-
Priestess?
No, the chariot.
Oh, I can't. It hasn't popped up yet.
Really?
Yeah. It just I'm seeing the first one. Oh, there it is now. All right. It skipped ahead.
This is my UFO card. When I'm asking about aliens and this shows up, this is the UFO card. I also got this for the moon, by the way. The moon is a spaceship with 4 kings, which that's
Yeah,
the four alien races I was talking about. This is one reason why I want to try to remember this. And one of these days I'm going to make this video about the moon. I'm going to refer to it again. I did a reading on the moon months ago that told me that there were 4 races of aliens that were in control of it. I say that because I got 4 kings in that when I asked who was in control of the moon or what it was. And I got this.
Mhm.
So what do you think, Dan? You take a shot here. I know, actually, I know the answer. Should I give it?
Yeah, go give the answer.
Wait, why don't we wait? I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Okay. All right.
I know who they are. And actually, I don't want to wait. I want you to try to figure out, and I'll give you a clue. First, take a guess. Sorry.
I have no clue because I only remember
Really?
the first 2 good groups.
Well, there's only one that's really obvious here. Okay, I'll show you. So this card tells us who they are.
Oh, the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. I have
Give
no
up?
clue. Yeah, I give up.
So there's another name for Pleiades, and that name is, do you know what the other name of Pleiades is?
No.
7 sisters.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. Because the Pleiades constellation, if you back when my vision was good, you could see it with your naked eye. There are 7 stars there. And by the way, there's this really strange phenomenon that used to happen that this buddy, Rich Purley, he was my spiritual buddy back in the day. We used to go on vision quests together and things like that. And we were gazing at Pleiades one time, and we both noticed that when you look away, there's a split second. When you look away, if you're looking at the stars with the naked eye and you look away, there's a split second when another star appears that you can't see when you're looking directly at it. So really there are 8 stars there, but one of them is like in your blind spot. You know how everybody has a blind spot?
Yeah.
In where the retina goes into the back of the eye, or not the retina. Is it the retina? The optic nerve.
Yeah.
And I remember we both noticed it, and I remember I noticed it, and I said to him, he goes, "Yeah, you're right. That's really strange." Anyways, so this is pretty amazing, Dan. This is a clear answer to me. Okay, stars, 7. And now here's what I want to do. You see the shape of these pentacles? Now let's go. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm going to go get a star chart, look at a star chart of Pleiades, and see if it maybe matches this shape. That would be interesting to see. So and we know that the Pleiadians are overwhelmingly good. However, every faction has good and bad in it, just like humans are
Yeah.
good and bad humans. Okay, and they're working to bring balance. I know, so much for getting the viewers. Anyways, the viewers can still chime in what you think.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Pleiadians are not here to save us. They're not here to rescue us. They're here to assist and bring balance back to the earth. And remember, I said sisters, 7 sisters. Okay. I think this is, and also telling us that they are a much more highly evolved spiritually than we are, and they use spacecraft to travel, and they're also here to teach us. Okay. So sorry if I ruined it. Anyway, viewers, I still welcome viewers to chime in if you're polite, and don't be one of these people. Don't be one of these people who comes on my channel and says, I'm a tarot card reader, and what I saw was totally different from what you said. Well, if that's true, then get your own YouTube channel and do your own readings and let people know. Okay, but everybody reads cards differently, and the cards mean different things to me than they may mean to you, and so you shouldn't do that. I would never do that.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, is that you have different perspectives. If tarot card readers didn't get different things, they would just make an app for it. You wouldn't need a person to do it. You just think a thing, would
right? Yeah, because I'm telling you, one card can have 100 different meanings.
Yeah. Yep.
Depending on a lot of different things. Okay, so we're waiting for the Pleiadians.
There you go. Oh, I want to do this. We can switch to the next thing if you want. I want to do one more before.
1, 2.
All right. I wanted to get this one on the YouTube side before you do that thing you wanted to do about the last reading with Janine. And it was something coming up. That's why I wanted it quick, because it's coming up soon. Monday is supposed to be a huge meteor storm, not a meteor shower, but actual meteor storm. The difference is meteor shower is you look up in the sky and it's beautiful and you get a few meteors coming across the sky and it's nice. A meteor storm it's so overwhelming, it actually looks like stars are falling from the sky, like the world's ending.
I've seen one of those.
Yeah,
I believe it was 1996. Do you remember? Were you old enough?
I wasn't old enough, but when I was reading about the storm, they mentioned that one. I don't remember what it was called, which comet caused it.
It was Pleiades.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What's this one? Do we know what this one is?
Yeah, this one is called, here it is. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Tau Herculids. That's what this one's called. And this, I'm wondering, and supposedly this is supposed to be a hit or miss. And if it happens, it's supposed to make the 1996 one look like nothing. This one's supposed to be
and we've got the rainy season, so I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah.
Because the clouds.
Yeah, but I don't know what day. When they say it's Monday, your Monday is going to be coming first.
Doesn't matter. I mean, we almost never have a clear sky this time of year, so I'm going to miss it regardless. But I want to tell this quick story about. I believe it was 96. Do you remember the year you saw?
When I was reading the article, it mentioned one in 96. I don't remember, but that was the date, 96.
So yeah, that's the one. So in 1996, me and 4 other people went down to the beach, and we went far away from the popular beaches to get as far away from the city lights as possible. And so we found this pretty secluded beach. I think it's Paradise Beach in Melbourne Beach, Paradise Beach. And there's a parking lot with just a couple of street lights there, and the 5 of us went down to the water, and we were lying on the beach, shoulder to shoulder. I was on the far right, and my 4 friends were to the left of me. Lying right next to me was this really strange guy, Steve Kajera. And Steve was an ichthyologist, a fish doctor, a scientist. And he was the closest thing to a real Spock that I've ever met.
Yeah.
He didn't seem to show emotion. He didn't have interest in the opposite sex. He was asexual, and everything he did was precise and scientific and analytical. Very strange guy.
Yeah.
And so he brought these huge binoculars too.
Yeah.
And he's like a genius. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, why are you bringing binoculars to a meteor shower? They happen so briefly, and there's no way you're
gonna spot
you can't
them.
watch. You need a wide field of view to watch this. And I kind of laughed at him. I thought he was silly. And anyways, we're sitting there, and the meteor storm was absolutely amazing. They literally looked like flaming tennis balls that were coming right at you, and then they would burn up and they would go away. And it wasn't just one every 15 minutes. It was like one every 30 seconds, and they would come in waves. And by the way, the reason it was called Pleiades, the Pleiades meteor shower, is because it appears to be coming from the constellation of Pleiades, the source of the meteorites coming from there. Quick side note: nobody has ever seen a meteorite shooting up from the horizon. I want you to think about this for a moment. If you have a sphere in space, then meteors should be coming from all directions. Okay.
Yeah.
And I've looked and I've looked and I've looked, and I found one that shows a UFO coming up, but I have never, and I challenge anybody out there, in your memory, Dan, have you ever seen a falling star shooting up from the horizon?
No, never. I haven't seen too many shooting stars, but I've never seen that before.
I've seen a lot in my life, and I looked for them on YouTube, couldn't find any. So anybody out there, trolls, you're going to get banned if you come in here and troll me. Okay. So, anyhow, so we're all godsmacked by this meteorite storm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But suddenly Mr. Spock to my left over, Scott, what's that? And he points about 45 degrees to the right and about 35 degrees above the horizon. And I see something moving, and my brain short-circuited because I couldn't identify what it was. And at first it seemed really big, like enormous. And then as my brain started to, and I was about to say to him, birds. I thought they were pelicans. But number one, pelicans don't fly at night. I don't know if you know that. And number two, the wind was blowing very hard from north to south, and these were going from south to north. So I stopped myself and I just said, I don't know. And at first I got a chill down my spine. I thought it was like some kind of demon or something, because it seemed to be it appeared to be transparent, because I could see nodes, but I could see stars through the nodes. And then my brain worked out that no, I wasn't seeing one big thing. I was seeing 7 smaller objects, and they were in formation of a circle. And they just continued all the way out of our sight. Now, this wasn't one of this. We didn't both go, "Oh wow, UFOs." We were more like, "That was strange. What was that?" And we tried to come up with ideas, and neither one of us could think of what it could have been. We forgot about it. Went back to watching the meteor shower. About 30 minutes later, me and one of the people from our group, a woman, walked down, and we were wading in the water to smoke a joint. And at this point, down farther away from the parking lot, it was much darker.
Yeah.
Because we're farther away from the parking lot. And I was worried about a wave that was coming, and I was supporting her. I didn't want her to fall down. Suddenly, so I'm looking down, I'm looking at her. Suddenly she looks up, because we had told her about the UFOs we saw. Yeah. And she was looking up for those. She was looking specifically for those. She goes, Scott, there they are. there they are again. Sure enough, I look up and this time I can see clearly. And now what I see are 7 triangular shaped objects. In the point of each triangle was a white light, and in the center was a red light. Very, very faint, more of a glow than like a shining light. And as I watched, they changed formation from a circular formation to a V formation. In flight, they moved into a V formation as if they're under intelligent control.
Yeah.
Okay. And so both of us were almost like jumping up and down with excitement. And we go running back up to the beach to where my buddy Steve, Mr. Spock, is there with those big fucking binoculars that he brought, which I thought was, stupid. And he's like, yeah, I was waiting. I saw them through these binoculars. We all 3 discussed what we saw. We all agreed what we saw. We went home, we drew pictures, and then came back together and showed each other the pictures, and they matched. And he made a report to MUFON, which they wrote back and said that was one of the best descriptions, because he's a scientist, of a sighting that they ever had. So long story there. I'm sorry about that, but it has to do with this Pleiadian storm. And somebody said, like, oh, I wonder if those UFOs were hiding in Earth's atmosphere to get away from the storm.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I don't know what's going on or how it works. So,
one last thing. I was all fired up about UFOs after that. I had always been interested in UFOs before that. And I went on a 1-year quest to find out what they were. I mean, I went on radio shows, not talk shows. I called in to radio shows. I met with other UFO experiencers in the area. I talked to an Air Force fighter pilot and couldn't find any answer to what I saw. The closest thing I found was a similar sighting in Belgium in the 80s, I think it was. It was a huge sighting.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today. Anybody right now on your computer, type into your whatever search you use, anyone, doesn't matter, TR3B, and see what you see. That's what I saw. So you know what the TR3B is?
Yeah, the R triangle craft. Yeah.
Right. They were military craft that I saw. They were TR3Bs, which are retro-engineered anti-gravity ships, and they're triangular shaped, and they have 3 white lights in the corners and 1 red light in the center. So that's my TR3B UFO story, and it's linked to so maybe this will be a good time to see UFOs when there's another meteor storm.
Oh yeah. Well, the question wasn't connected to UFOs, but something you said made me think of.
What is your question? So after that long monologue that I just did, sorry, I had to get that story. That's a great fucking story. I had to get it out there.
Yeah. Well, it's connected. So,
all right.
So, if someone didn't know about this meteor storm, and especially with what's going on in the world today, if the average person went outside and looked in the sky, they would think, all right, the nukes have gone off, we're getting attacked, etc. I want to know,
or alien or an alien invasion,
I want to know if this event could be used for, or you can word it differently, could be used.
I agree with it.
Yeah. Could the meteor shower be used for an event or a harbinger for an event? Because comets are harbingers. They throughout history, a comet has passed and some great event happens afterwards.
Comets and meteorites are 2 different things.
Well, the creation of this meteor storm is from a comet that had already passed, and now we're passing through its halo.
Right. True enough.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. Justice.
The camera for your cards is The camera
Huh?
for your cards is so slow compared to the camera you're
Yeah, I
on.
don't know what's going on. So can you see them all now?
Now I see them. Yeah, I see them all now.
So it looks like it could be used strategically, but if it is, it's going to be used for the benefit of mankind.
Okay.
So we do have this strategy card here. Information, words being used in a strategic way, justice. So in a way to bring fairness, in a loving, divine feminine sort of way for the whole world. A lot of nutrients come from meteor showers. That's what I'm picking up on that here. A lot of uh, um, very fertile nutrients are going to be coming from this and fertilizing the land, making it more prosperous. That's interesting. But I don't see anything like you're talking about.
Okay.
Some people are going to freak out though.
Yeah.
Now this is what you're talking about. And then a lot of people are just going to be celebrating because it's going to be so cool. People are going to be out watching. So you're going to have two kinds of people. You have some people who are out watching it going, woo, yeah, that's great. And some people are going to think it's a harbinger of doom.
Yeah.
And once again, I think this is somehow strengthening the earth. These the material coming from this meteor shower is somehow making the earth stronger. That's really interesting. Getting prepared for this change that the earth is going through, bringing new material from the cosmos onto the Earth's surface. Really interesting. But some people are going to be freaked out, but it's not going to be used like in War of the Worlds type of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to just ask this because it's connected to your story. It's not connected to my question, but when you were talking about the UFOs, something popped in my head. Do the UFOs use humans for their abilities? Sometimes to fly, sometimes to do special things.
Pull out the yes/no deck.
Okay.
Explain that again, because I'm a little bit not sure what you mean.
All right, and some sci-fi things, you have a ship, like a vehicle, and in the vehicle they have like an actual living thing, and they use that either for energy or they use it to do something special.
Gotcha.
Dune. In Dune, one of the guilds has that. Remember that big creepy, weird thing? That's the thing that opened portals and folded space.
Okay. I understand what you mean. But humans, they're being used against their will, kind of like, though, right? Is it your idea?
Yeah.
No, yes. Make this short and sweet. That's a 9. So yes.
Oh.
And not only that, it's very traumatic for the people who are used that way. So that's creepy as hell. We'll delve deeper to that in another show, maybe.
Yeah. Well, we're the spice, so we're used for everything. All right.
Well, it's time for the human race to stand up and take our power back.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's switch to.
Are we done with the family portion?
Yep. Stop.
All right.
All right, there we go.
And we're on to the spicy stuff, right?
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
and actually, I might put this on YouTube too. Okay, I want to clear up the reading I did on Janine and Ashley going to Hideaway. And to do that, I'm going to share my screen. And no. How do I do that again? Share screen. I want to go to this. Okay, now I got it. This away. First I just want to point out something here. This is about 6 months ago when I had 150 subscribers, and I had decided that I was going to make a go at becoming a monetized YouTube channel. I did a spread for myself, and one of the things I got was that if I had to be strategic, okay, and I was entering into this new world of trying to become a YouTuber, and I had to be strategic and work really hard, like almost like and make deals with other people. But by the way, anyway, I just want to point that out, strategy. And to me, this meant like doing what. Let me back up for a second. One of the things I did was I found a YouTube channel that told you how to increase views and to use strategy. And one of the things they said was to find another very popular YouTuber who's in your same genre and like piggyback along with them, get in there, comment early when they post videos, get their attention, get people looking at you. Okay, that's one of the strategies. Now, if you notice, this next card I pulled here is the Hierophant. Those of you who follow Janine closely know that she says this card comes up for her very often because she's a 5 numerologically. She's a 5 and she's a teacher. She teaches tarot. And so I didn't even think it at the time. This is Janine right here. Okay. Then when you get to the answer, I got a yes. Oh, back up. The Fool. Fool's me. Okay. This is me just starting out, trusting the universe. I have faith that I can do it. So that's really wild. This is Janine and this is me in this reading. And then I pulled one more card and I got a yes. So my question was, would I monetize my channel within 1 year? And I got a yes. And not only did I get it monetized within a year, I got it monetized in about 3 months after that reading with the help of Janine, because I used a strategy of getting her attention, and I had the help of others. People, I never tried to get Janine to promote me. I never asked her to. I never sent her videos of me asking her to, but I did make a tribute to Janine because she inspired me. I started getting some clients, and so I wanted to thank Janine for giving me the inspiration to do this. Then one of my viewers sent that video to Janine, and then she put it, she did a shout out of me, and that's what started my career as a YouTuber and as a tarot card reader. So so now going to this reading that we did last week, we started off, you were asking why all these truthers were going away at this time, and if you watch the original video, you'll see a light bulb literally go off over my head. And I go, wait, stop right there. What about Janine? Now, you and I had not pre-planned this, right?
Nope.
This was an inspiration I got. I thought it was a good idea, but also I will tell everybody this was a strategic move on my part to exploit Janine's popularity. Yes. So those people of you who are commenting on that video that, why are you giving this guy attention? He's just using Janine to make money. Yes, that's true. It's my job. I'm a YouTuber. I have to think of creative ways to get clicks and likes, and that video, the 4-minute video, excerpt that I did
Yeah.
has earned me over $100. Thank you very much, Janine. And you too, Dan, because you were part of that.
All right. So I have something to say. If I'm a plumber, a carpenter, and I have someone that's learning from me, an assistant, eventually they, I'm the master, they become their own master and they go out on their own. I'm not going to get upset if they say, yeah, it's Dan that taught me this, right? They're using that name to get to like, whoa, that's where you learned it from. And you go off. Not only that is that if you kind of want to have your name live on, helping those that you've taught to become successful using your name, it lives on. It's always going to lead back to the person who helped, and so I don't see an issue with it. I mean, if you're not,
Yeah, and I knew intuitively that Janine wasn't going to have a problem with it. I had a little bit of doubt, and I actually got some advice from some friends. I showed them the clip that I made, and I said, Dr. Heath Motley, if some people know him, he's a little bit well known, but he's like my confidant. I go to him for advice a lot, and because he lives in the Philippines and we're in the same time zone, and he's a wise man. And he said, "Nah, it's fine, Scott. There's nothing there bad." And I knew Janine wasn't going to have a problem with it, and she didn't. She even sent me an email. She said she loved it, and she talked about it. So, stop with the hate mail, people out there. Before you make a comment, listen to everything. I'm not trying to hurt Janine, but yes, I am exploiting her popularity and fame to enrich myself. Yes, that's what YouTubers do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, and then now I want to, okay, awesome. So now when I started pulling cards on Janine, I freaked out a little bit because first I got an ace, which means yes. And my question, here's another thing I did with the original question was, did Janine and Ashley go to the hideaway because they had insider information? That was the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I used a bit of showmanship and I put the question on the video. Did they really go there because they are why did Janine and Ashley really go to the hideaway? That's clickbait, people. That's how I make my money. Okay. If you're not smart enough to figure that out, then don't blame me. That's your own fault. Okay. So what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. So I pulled those cards, and I get the moon, and I get the devil. Let me show. And I have to admit, I freaked out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because when I'm, and by the way, let me try to explain something to people that doing cold readings like this is, where is it, Dan?
It was in your
Here.
picture, wasn't it?
Yeah, here, I got it. Doing cold readings like this, that are essentially live, recorded live, it's not easy to think on the fly. And I often just do a what's it called? Like flow, like I just let ideas flow. And normally if I have a querent, I can give them two things and then they tell me what resonates with them. And so it's really hard when you're doing it by yourself. Okay. So first I got this ace and I said, oh, she did get something, right?
Yeah.
And then I get the moon. I'm like, oh, wait a minute here. Then I get the this revelation card in the background, judgment. And this card says you can't talk about something, or your thoughts and words are being restricted, right? Normally that's what it means. I'm going to get to that in a minute. And the devil, and then a strategy card and a 5, a conflict card. So I was afraid of what I might read, and I didn't dig any deeper. I didn't pull any clarifications cards because I know how fierce Janine's fans are, and I knew I was going to get blowback from this. So I quickly shut it down. Now, Dan, you said you saw something about the moon.
Yeah, the moon, like almost like you mentioned it to me that it was like a journey or hard to explain it. And the red lobster coming out of the water is almost like the landing. You get on the ferry and you come off the boat, and it's like a journey or a trek. Which
No, shoot. Um, see if I can do this. Can you see this?
yeah, it's better. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So it occurred to me that the lobster coming up onto land
Yep.
was a lot like a car coming off of a ferry.
Yeah.
Right. And going off into a land that's a little bit wild. So the Haida Gwaii is a wild place. There are the grizzly bears that are biggest grizzly bears in the world, and
Yeah.
it's just dangerous to get there. I mean, number one,
Yeah.
all the driving she had to do to get there. Okay.
So I did a little research, and those towers that are in that card right there, with between to the right and left of the moon, at the Haida Gwaii, there's something called the Gwaii Hanas vortex, and in this area there are actually pillars, like wooden totems, like those towers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
And
interesting.
it's on a ley line, and it's considered one of the more stronger ley lines.
All right.
And
All right.
and on top of that, you mentioned what I might pronounce it wrong. Is it Haset or Haket?
I thought it was Heket.
Oh, Heket. Well, I think there's like a river there. It's named after it, I think, right? Maybe the
I think it
Heket
was a
Strait.
straight.
Yeah. And well, that's named after a goddess, and this goddess is considered the goddess of all witches, basically.
Uh-huh.
And when
Right.
people think of Pharaoh, they think of witches. So I almost think that the download given to her was to send her there to get recharged, because
Exactly.
you send crystals out to get recharged, you go on vacation to get charged, and someone who does esoteric stuff going to a place known, like named with the goddess of witches plus a vortex, I mean, you must get crazy amped up.
So here's where I got that she did receive a message, but this was something subtle from the universe and maybe from Heket, like just the way that the timing worked out. It was something that Janine does naturally. It was not like from a 3-letter agency. And the other thing about this 8 of Swords here, see, this is the crossing card for Janine. This is the card that basically takes on the opposite. So what I would say with this is that even if Janine was given an NDA, I'm not sure she would sign it. Okay, because nothing's going to stop her from speaking the truth. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, coming down to this devil here, I know more than anybody, or as much as anybody, how hard Janine works. I think, in my opinion, she works too much, and she's got all these commitments to different people, and a lot of people rely on her for income. So she has these commitments, these almost, like restrictions on her that keep her from having fun. So when she's working for doing 4, 5, 6 videos a week, she's not able to drink. I know she enjoys a glass of wine. She's not able to drink maybe as much as she wants. And I think at the time of this reading, I think she was having to tip him back a few. I think she was getting a bit tipsy. Yeah. And then the strategy, this was a strategy because she did plan this weeks or months ago. I knew that as well. Everybody telling me that. I knew that. Listen, I watch Janine every time she's on. Okay. I do it because even if I'm not interested in what she's talking about, I do it as a learning thing. I learn from her. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and also there might have been a little bit of conflict with some of the people that she partners with. Like they didn't want her to go because they need her to work and something like that. All right. So I've been thinking about this for a long time, and there's a lot I want to say about that spread and clear things up. Janine didn't have a problem with it. Her and Ashley, they thought it was great. They loved it. They laughed. And I'm really looking forward to one day. I had a dream that I met Janine, and I believe that dream's going to come true someday. My dreams do come true sometimes. I had a dream that Donald Trump was going to give me a bunch of money. A couple years later, I got a check with Donald Trump's name on it for $600 and another one for $1,200. That was literally a dream that came true. Except in
Wow.
my dream, he was in person and he was handing me cash. But listen, I got a check with Donald Trump's name on it for a wad of cash.
Yeah.
That was my dream.
Oh yeah.
All right. So now we got that straightened out. I wonder how much hate mail I'm going to get for that one now. Because I am going to put that on YouTube.
Yeah. Right, whatever. People got to complain about something. I mean, that's part of the entertainment. If you're on YouTube, yelling at you might be just as fun, you know?
Say whatever you want as long as you're polite. If you're not polite, then you're going to get banned for life. Just so you know.
Yeah. All right. You want to switch to the next topic?
Yeah, let's do one more cut for edit.